This is the Stars Pete Grathoff with Royals Broadcaster Ryan Lefebvre. Catching up with him here at spring training. He just wanted to ask him a few questions about last year's Royals run. Just your thoughts on how fun that had to be. You got to call the final out of the World Series. What do you remember from last fall?
I think I remember more from last fall than the fall before, because I'd never broadcast in the postseason before 2014. And I remember Ned Yost was advising everybody involved to just sit back and enjoy it, because it's going to go by so fast that you're going to look back and say, wow, that was like a flash. And I thought that'd be impossible. We've waited 29 years to get to the postseason. I'm going to remember every pitch of every game. But really, I didn't. And it was over, and I was surprised as we got ready for 2015 that certain details would come up from the postseason, and I'd be like, I completely forgot about that. So I think I did a better job of just taking it in and realizing how fortunate we were to go back-to-back World Series, to just really kind of soak in the moments and not worry so much about preparing for every player and every situation, but just to really take it in. And then to get to call the final out. The part that I will always remember about calling the final out was the Royals score 5 runs in the top of the 12th inning, and Denny and I alternate the innings when we get into extra innings. So I was doing the top of the 12th. And we go to commercial, and I just had this really uneasy feeling, like, here comes Wade. We haven't even used Wade Davis yet. He's coming in with a 5-run lead. It's like, this thing's over. And I'm doing the inning. And we went to commercial, and I asked Denny, I said, are you okay with me doing the bottom of the 12th inning? Because I just thought, he should be doing the 12th inning. And he looked at me like, well, of course. It's your inning. So that meant a lot to me. I mean, that was our 17th year together, and he had every right in the world, and probably more people, if they were honest, would probably prefer to hear Denny Matthews say the Royals win the World Series, but he allowed me to have that moment, and that's really made it just as special as actually saying, the Royals are World Series champions.
That's cool. And what moment do you remember besides the final out? Is there from that? There's so much happened for the Royals to get to the World Series and win the World Series, particularly through the playoffs. Is there a moment in the playoffs in particular that you remember that stands out?
There's one, and then there's a 1B. And one will be Game 4 in Houston in the division series, when I thought, and I think a lot of people, if they were outside of the dugout, if they were honest, thought this is it. This 12-game lead in the Central Division is going to die here in Houston in Game 4 of the division series. So the comeback. And then I think the last inning of Game 6 of the championship series, the combination of Kane scoring from first on Hosmer's single, and then the Blue Jays had a runner at second with nobody out, and then second and third with 1 out, and Wade Davis got out of that. I mean, and there's that great shot on Fox of George checking his pulse and feeling his heart. It was. I think everyone was feeling the same way. The ground ball to Moustakas, he throws him out. The Royals win. I mean, that was probably more nerve-wracking for me than Alex being at third base in Game 7 of the World Series and Salvi coming up. I mean, that one there was more emotion. I think my heart was pumping harder in Game 6 of the championship series.
Yeah, that was a heck of a moment. And now they're going into the 2016 season as World Series champions. Thoughts on what you're looking forward to this year?
I didn't understand, Pete, last year why so many people picked the Royals to finish in second, third, or even fourth. I didn't get it. And maybe the analytics said that there was no chance that they were going to win the division. I felt like coming off the World Series in 2014 that this team would just have a confidence about them that would lead them to win the division in 2015. I'm not very good with predictions. I thought they were going to win the division, but I didn't think they'd win it by 12 games. I thought maybe it'd be tight toward the end. And I feel the same way this year. I don't sense anything different about this team compared to 2013, 2014, or 2015. I get the feeling they're the same bunch of guys. They love playing the game. They love playing the game together. They love winning together. So I don't think that there was, in my opinion, I don't think there was any extra chip on their shoulder last year because they came so close to winning. I think they were just motivated to win, and I don't think there's any complacency because now they've won a World Series. So from my humble opinion, just being around them, and I don't hang out a lot around the batting cage. I mean, I come out and watch a little bit, but the mood just seems to be a typical Royals mood.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Right.
All right, well, it's kind of you to join us. 150 games, the Royals will be on Fox Sports Kansas City this year, and Ryan will be there calling them almost all of them.
And
I guess they'll give you a break, right?
before every one of those 150 games, I will go to kansascity.com hoping that there will be a good for Pete's sake.
Well, you're very kind, and thanks for joining us, Ryan.
Thank you, Pete.